When a highly regulated industrial environment faces a catastrophic failure, the event rarely begins as a sudden explosion. Instead, it begins as a cascade of interacting deviations across a complex network. This points to a core paradox of industrial safety. Accidents in modern environments are rarely the result of a single, unpredictable anomaly. They are the deterministic outputs of interacting systemic vulnerabilities. Because of this, the strict professional scope of an accident investigation has a specific mandate. Its purpose is not to exonerate management, satisfy insurance requirements, or assign individual blame. The true purpose of a forensic investigation is to identify precise system defects and engineer objective countermeasures. Achieving this requires safety professionals to master both theoretical causation models and rigorous forensic algorithms. In the early 20th century, before complex systems theory existed, industrial safety focused heavily on the workers operating in dense proximity to unguarded machinery. This diagram shows H.W. Heinrich's 1932 Domino Theory, recognized as the first scientific approach to accident prevention. Heinrich proposed a linear axiom: injuries result from a strict sequence of preceding factors. He concluded that 88% of accidents are driven by unsafe acts by workers, 10% by unsafe conditions, and 2% are unavoidable. The proposed solution within this linear model was straightforward. By extracting the unsafe act from the sequence, the chain reaction is broken and the final injury is prevented. This behavioral focus directly informed the subsequent human factors theory, which sought to classify the exact mechanisms of human error. Human factors categorizes operator error into 3 nodes: overload, where a worker's capacity is mismatched with the task load; inappropriate worker response to a known hazard; and inappropriate activities, such as performing a task without requisite training. The limitation of these early linear models is where they place liability. By placing the burden of failure almost entirely on the end user, they overlook the architecture of the management system that hired, trained, and equipped that user. This diagram illustrates Peterson's accident-incident theory, which expanded the human factors framework to account for psychological variables and management structure. A critical addition here is the decision to err node. Peterson noted that workers often operate under the Superman syndrome, making a logical, conscious choice to disregard procedures because they falsely believe their experience makes them invincible. Peterson's most crucial contribution, however, is the system failure node. This shifts liability upward, proving that worker behaviors are ultimately governed by management policy, training protocols, and inspection schedules. This established the foundation of systems theory, the concept that an accident is a breakdown in the integrated unit of man, machine, and the surrounding environment, functioning as a single whole. Dr. William Haddon eventually pushed this abstraction further with his energy release theory, moving safety analysis out of behavioral psychology and into applied physics. Viewed through Haddon's lens, an accident is out-of-control energy transferring to living or non-living objects in amounts that exceed their physical tolerance threshold. Haddon detailed specific engineering countermeasures to control this transfer, prevent energy buildup, reduce initial amounts, slow the rate of release, and physically separate the energy from the object. By proving that physical engineering barriers, such as energy-absorbing steering columns, achieve a higher degree of reliability than attempting to mandate perfect human behavior, Haddon proved that systems can be designed to safely absorb inevitable human errors. This flowchart shows the modern causation model, which synthesizes the theories of Heinrich, Peterson, and Haddon. Notice the strict taxonomic shift here. Accident is replaced by mishap, and unsafe act is replaced by operating error. The cascade of failure begins at the management level. A safety management error, such as a failure to allocate sufficient funding, inevitably degrades into a safety program defect. Those program defects then branch downward, generating direct command errors from supervisors and broader system defects across the operation. Because the system is now defective, the end user is forced into an operating error, which triggers the final mishap and the result. Predicting when this specific cascade will occur relies on a statistical bedrock of risk monitoring known as the near-miss relationship. This chart shows the precise mathematical ratio of incident severity. For every single serious injury that occurs, there are 59 minor injuries and 600 near misses. Analyzing and investigating the 600 near misses at the bottom of the pyramid offers the statistical volume required to sever the causal chain before a fatal result occurs. When the systemic architecture fails and a mishap occurs, how do investigators objectively untangle the chaos of the scene? They follow a strict 14-step procedural protocol. It begins with immediate triage, securing the scene by eliminating active hazards, like de-energizing machinery, shoring trenches, or depressurizing lines, and providing immediate care to the injured. This schematic illustrates the isolation protocol. Physical barricades are erected to freeze the scene, restricting access strictly to investigative personnel to protect forensic evidence from alteration. The initial data gathering phase then commences. This involves team briefings and detailed scene inspections utilizing rigorous sketching and photography before any environmental variables are disturbed. Immediate witness interviews are critical and time-sensitive. Witnesses must be isolated from one another prior to questioning to prevent cross-contamination of their memories. Throughout this process, investigators pursue strict, objective data goals. They must explicitly determine what variable was abnormal, exactly where the abnormality occurred, and precisely when it was first noted. The goal of these 14 procedural steps is not to draft a narrative. It is to gather pure, uncontaminated data to feed into advanced analytical problem-solving algorithms. Highly complex multivariable mishaps require formal algorithmic frameworks. Relying on intuition introduces investigator bias. Relying on algorithms yield reproducible facts. The baseline technique is the Job Safety Analysis, or JSA. This systematically breaks a task down into its fundamental steps, identifies the hazards present in each distinct step, and prescribes specific controls. This chart shows a Failure Modes and Effects Analysis, or FMEA. This is a granular, component-level analysis designed to locate exact points of mechanical or procedural breakdown. An FMEA mathematically catalogs how every single item in a system can fail, maps the cascading effect of that failure on the broader system, and assigns it a statistical probability. For complex systems engineering, investigators rely on fault tree analysis, the premier deductive, top-down graphical model. This diagram shows a fault tree analysis. It begins at the top with the final undesired event and works backward through the system to find the minimum cut sets of failure. It achieves this by utilizing strict Boolean logic. By mapping pathways through and or gates, the tree visually proves how specific contributory events must interconnect to cause the final failure. Alternatively, investigators can deploy the multilinear event sequencing method, a specialized timeline-based approach used to dissect process deviations. This chart shows how MES isolates every single action executed by every individual actor. By tracking these variables across parallel tracks, investigators can map the exact chronological sequence of the deviation. By running field data through FMEA, fault trees, and multilinear sequencing, safety professionals replace subjective narrative blame with objective mathematical proof of systemic failure. To close the loop, the mathematical outputs of the forensic analysis must populate the final investigation report, connecting the data back to the organization. The report requires a tiered structural breakdown. Investigators must clearly separate direct causes, such as unmitigated energy sources, indirect causes, like unsafe conditions, and basic causes, specifically management policies and environmental factors. This diagram returns us to the modern causation model, where the final step occurs, deploying targeted countermeasures across the 7 avenues of failure. Specific countermeasures map precisely to failures. Engineering controls resolve system defects, while physical protective equipment intercepts the mishap. Through rigorous analytical tools and modern causation theory, safety professionals transform reactive investigations into proactive prevention. They systematically redesign the workspace to absorb human and mechanical faults, ensuring that when the system deviates, it fails safely.